When we think about, those different environments out in the field, and let's just use the water limited acre, that high ground, and compare that to the stable acre. And on that high ground, particularly when we're talking in early spring, we typically find that acre to be cooler. We've got lower organic matter there, lower moisture. And so that acre just doesn't warm up as much during the daytime. And if we're hovering around 50, 55 degrees, maybe 60 degrees during the daytime, and then dropping below 50 at night, then there's a lot of things going on that acre compared to the stable acre where we have a lot more activity from a moisture and a mineralization standpoint. And then also we think about that stable acre being darker in color due to higher organic matter. We tend to warm up quicker on that acre. And then additionally, when we think about nutrient movement into the plant early in the growing season, either through mass flow or diffusion, we tend to have greater concentration of nutrients moved into the plant on those environments where we have more moisture and higher rates of mineralization. And so when we think about the importance of building V6 vegetative plant mass in that first 45 days, it is absolutely critical on that high ground, that water limited acre, because we know it gets off to a tougher start being that it's cooler, less mineralization, less mass flow and diffusion of nutrients to those small roots. And so that acre is going to need some help. And the first way is through 2x2 starter fertilizer. And we know we can place large volumes of products or concentrations of nutrients next to that row and influence early season growth and development and build a bigger plant in that first 45 days, which again is absolutely critical. We compare that to that saturated acre where we just don't have the need to build as much vegetative plant mass because it has more help naturally. And starter, again, is probably the most efficient way to do that. But another option, and I don't want us to think that starter is a prerequisite to building vegetative plant mass, but broadcasting nitrogen and sulfur can also help us do that. And when we do broadcast nitrogen and sulfur to build vegetative plant mass, we've got to understand and keep in mind that that high ground, that water limited acre, is going to trump every acre in the field. So we've got to get that rate and that concentration right for the high ground. And then the stable and saturated acre will typically fall in line. Another application that we've been able to implement is a variable rate starter fertilizer to where that high ground may not need the same rate as the stable acre, when in fact we may need a 2x rate on that high ground versus the stable acre, again, where I saw for years it was somewhat inconsistent. And so that rate is less responsive on that stable acre compared to that water limited acre.